Dava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Giridhari, Radha Giridhari Radha. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev. So Hare Krishna, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you. It has been very cold in the morning today. Suddenly the temperature has dropped, but we are all here to glorify Bhagavatam and listen from Bhagavatam. So before we do the Bhagavatam, we'll be reading from Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita. So I hope you can, I'll just share the screen now. Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'll just read this one. In March of 1964, Krishna Pandit Bhaktivedanta Swami sponsor at the Radha Krishna temple in Chippiwada arranged for him to reside for a few months at the Sri Radha Vallabhji temple in the nearby Roshanpura Naisarak neighborhood. There he could continue his writing and publishing, but he would also be giving a series of lectures. Krishna Pandit provided Bhaktivedanta Swami about 1,500 rupees for his maintenance. On Bhaktivedanta Swami's arrival at Sri Radha Vallabhji temple, the manager distributed notices inviting people to take full advantage of the presence of a Vaishnava sadhu. As resident Acharya, Bhaktivedanta Swami held morning and evening discourses at the temple without reducing his activities of writing and printing. In June, Bhaktivedanta Swami got the opportunity to meet Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri. The meeting had been arranged by Doladram Kana, a wealthy jeweler who was a trustee of the Chipivada temple and had often met with Bhaktivedanta Swami there. An old friend of Prime Minister Shastri's since his youth, when they had attended the same yoga club, Mr. Kana arranged the meeting as a favor to Bhaktivedanta Swami. Let the Prime Minister meet a genuine sadhu, Mr. Kana thought. It was a formal occasion in the gardens of the Parliament building, and the Prime Minister was meeting a number of guests. Prime Minister Shastri, dressed in white kurta and dhoti and a Nehru hat and surrounded by aides, received the elderly sadhu. Bhaktivedanta Swami, looking scholarly in his spectacles, stepped forward and introduced himself and his book, Srimad Bhagavatam. As he handed the Prime Minister a copy of Volume 1, a photographer snapped a photo of the author and the Prime Minister smiling over the book. The next day, Bhaktivedanta Swami wrote to Prime Minister Shastri. He soon received a reply personally signed by the Prime Minister. Dear Swamiji, many thanks for your letter. I am indeed grateful to you for presenting a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam to me. I do realize that you are doing valuable work. It would be a good idea if the libraries in the government institutions purchase copies of this book. Bhaktivedanta Swami wrote back to the Prime Minister requesting him to buy books for Indian institutions. Mr. R.K. Sharma of the Ministry of Education subsequently wrote back confirming that they would take 50 copies of Volume 2 just as they had taken Volume 1. So I'm stopping over here, Mataji. Is that all right?
Yes, Mataji, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhaktir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki. So today we'll be reading from Canto 4, Chapter 23, and we'll be reading verses 23, 24, and 25. The name of the chapter is Maharaj Prithu's going back home. So this is the shloka. So I'll just do the shloka and the translation of 23 and 24. And we will dive into the shloka of 25th deeply. Vilokyanugatam sadvim prithum viravaram patim tuštuvur varada dever Deva Patnyaha Sahasraha. So I'll read the translation. After observing this brave act performed by the chaste wife Archi, the wife of the great king Prithu, many thousands of the wives of the demigods, along with their husbands, offered prayers to Queen Kunti, for they were very much satisfied. Yeah, let's go to the next one. Okay, now text number 24. Purvatyaha kusumasaram tasmin mandara sanuni nadatsva amara tureshu grinanti sma parasparam. Translation. At that time, the demigods were situated on the top of Mandara hill, and all their wives began to shower flowers on the funeral pyre and began to talk amongst themselves as follows. Text number 25. Devya uchuhu ahoyam vadurdanya yachaivam bhubhujam patim sarvatmana patim bheje yagnesham srirvadhuriva. Devya uchuhu ahoyam vadurdanya yam chaivam bhubhujam patim sarvatmana patim bheje yagnesham srirvadhuriva. Devya uchuhu ahoyam vadurdanya yachaivam bhubhujam patim sarvatmana patim bheje yagnesham srirvadhuriva. Anybody would like to try?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Devaya uchu aho iham badurdhanna iya choivam bhujam patim sarvatmana patim veje yagna yesham sri badhu iva. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I am also trying.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Devya uchuhu ahoyam vadurdhanya yachaivam bhubujam putim sarvatmana putim bheje yagnesham srirvadhuriva.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please go ahead.
Devya uchuhu ahoyam vadurdhanya yachaivam bhubhujam patim sarvatmana patim bheje yagyesham sri vadhuriva.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, I am trying as well.
Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Debyo uchuhu ahoyam vadurdhanya yachaivam bhubhujam patim sarvatmana patim bheje yagnesham srirvadhurivaha iva. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, beta, may I try, please?
Yes, please, Mataji, please go ahead. Thank you.
Devya uchuhu ahoyam vadurdhanya yachaivam bhubhujam patim sarvatmana patim veje yagnesham shirire badhur iva. Thank you, Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji. Yes. So we'll read the synonyms. Would anybody like to try? Okay, I'll read it. Devya Uchuhu, the wives of the demigods said, Aho, alas, Iyam, this, Vadhu, the wife, Dhanya, most glorious, Ya, who, Cha, also, Evam, as, Bhu, of the world, Bhujam, of all the kings, Patim, the king, Sarva Atmana, with full understanding, Patim, unto the husband, Bheje, worship, Yagna Isham, unto Lord Vishnu, Srihi, the goddess of fortune, Vadhu, wife, Iva, like. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The wives of the demigods said, all glories to Queen Archi. We can see that this queen of the great King Prithu, the emperor of all the kings of the world, has served her husband with mind, speech, and body, exactly as a goddess of fortune serves the supreme personality of Godhead, Yagnesha or Vishnu. Purport. In this verse, the words Yagnesham Shri Vadhur Iva indicate that Queen Archi served her husband just as a goddess of fortune serves the supreme personality of Godhead Vishnu. We can observe that even in history of this world, when Lord Krishna, the supreme Vishnu, was ruling over Dwarka, Queen Rukmini, who was a chief of all Krishna's queens, used to serve Lord Krishna personally in spite of having many hundreds of maidservants to assist her. Similarly, the goddess of fortune in the Vaikuntha planets also serves Narayana personally, although there are many thousands of devotees prepared to serve the Lord. This practice is also followed by the wives of the demigods, and in days past, the wives of men who followed this same principle. In Vedic civilization, the husband and wife were not separated by such man-made laws as divorce. We should understand the necessity for maintaining family life in human society and should thus abolish this artificial law known as divorce. The husband and wife should live in Krishna consciousness and follow in the footsteps of Lakshmi Narayana or Krishna Rukmini. In this way, peace and harmony can be possible within this world. Let's stop sharing this now. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadadi Swapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Mahavishnu Goswami Namine Namine Mudrancharam Prachayane Mahavishnu Goswami Namine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Janananda Goswami Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvari Prachayane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Vedishita. Hare Krishna, everyone. So please bless me that I'm able to do the service according to my ability. So this is a very wonderful verse over here that we have come across. So I'll start with the shloka of Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, 19th chapter 151, which says that Brahmande Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So Brahmande Brahmite means in this whole Brahmanda, in this whole universe, a fortunate soul who comes across the spiritual master, Guru and Krishna, then what happens? Then he develops devotional service. So that bij which is there, dormant, is now sprouting because of his meeting of Guru and Krishna, because of their mercy. That's how the mercy flows. So we must consider ourselves very, very fortunate, as among millions and millions of people in this whole universe, we have been picked up by Guru and Krishna. So we must also know that, this devotional service which is coming to us is very, very rare, and very, very fortunate souls get this opportunity of doing this devotional service. As human existence is rare, so this devotional service is also rare. And in this verse particularly, we see that what Queen Archi, she is doing devotional service. And how is she doing that? By serving her husband. So just by serving her husband, Queen Archi is being glorified. And she's glorified by whom? By the demigods. So if any ordinary person glorifies someone, that is good, that is nice. But just imagine if we have been glorified or appreciated by the Prime Minister of this country, then it speaks volumes, isn't it? So similarly, Queen Archi is not being glorified by any ordinary being. She's been glorified by the demigods. That's why, and not one demigod. Many demigods. That's why the word over in the Sanskrit over here, it's mentioned as uchuhu, which means it is plural. If it was a singular, it could have been Devya Uvacha, like how we read in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna Uvacha, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. But it has been said that, all the demigods are glorifying Queen Archie. Now we should know, why is Queen Archie being glorified over here? Yeah, and who is Queen Archie? Queen Archie is the wife of Maharaj Prithu. Yeah, and Maharaj Prithu, in his old age, what is he doing? He is going to the forest and he is observing austerities. Now, when we look at the austerities, what Maharaj Prithu is doing, it is actually mind-boggling. He is in the forest. Now, when we read this Bhagavatam in our home on the table, then we just read it casually. That, oh, Maharaj Prithu is in the forest and he's doing this, he's doing the breathing exercise and this. But I was just contemplating and I was just thinking that, if we visualize the situation of how a forest life looks like, can we visualize that? And can we understand how Maharaj Prithu and Queen Archie lived a life in the forest, where there is darkness, there is no light and no electricity, there is no big houses, there is no aircon, there is no rooms, there is no good comfortable beds, there is no showers to take shower. Can we visualize this? Then we can understand that it is such an austere life. And we can have a glimpse of that, when we go for bush walks. When we go for bush walks, the path is already paved. We are going through that path. And we are having those shrubs and the trees, big trees surrounding us. And after some time, we feel that, oh, when is the path going to end? We cannot even be there in that environment for one single day. And Queen Archie, along with her husband Prithu, is actually living in the forest, and their austerity is at a very high, greater level. So then when we do the austerity, so we have to think that the austerity which we are doing now is very, very less as compared to the austerity what they have done. Yes, of course, we cannot imitate, but we can have a clear understanding that in this age of Kali Yuga, the austerity for us is what waking up early in the morning for Mangal Aarti or chanting and finishing your rounds at the Brahma Muhurta, following the regulative principles, doing some fasting. This is the austerity which we are doing. But then when you compare it with the austerity what Queen Archie is doing, isn't that worth glorifying her? And that, on top of that, what happens is Maharaj Prithu leaves his body. And just imagine Queen Archie is dealing with that situation where she is all alone with a husband who has left this world. We cannot even think of it. Even in the midst of everyone in here, in our home, if we lose someone, what is our situation? We would be in the lamentation for a long, long period of time, even if we are surrounded by many near and dear ones and who is consoling us. But just imagine her situation, that she is not having a husband. Her husband has left her. And now she is actually building a funeral pyre for her husband. She did lament, but for a short while. And now she knows that, my next step is to put him in the funeral pyre and give him a final goodbye. So now she is collecting all the firewoods and everything from wherever she can. And she's laying that funeral pyre. And she's laying her husband. She lights the fire by herself. And what does she do now? She actually plunges into the fire with her husband. Now, this is a very, very great and brave act. That's why over here in the previous verse, it is said in the 23rd verse, it is said that, after observing this brave act performed by the chaste wife Archie, The wife of the great king Prithu, many thousands of wives of the demigods, along with their husbands, offered prayers to the queen, for they were very much satisfied. So now we can think the magnanimity of Queen Archie's service to her husband. And in the next verse, Prabhupada writes in the purport that a woman does not need to attain high qualifications, but if she simply follows in the footsteps of her husband, who must be a devotee, then both husband and wife attain liberation and are promoted to the Vaikuntha Lokas. So if the wife is actually devoted to a qualified husband and is doing the service, this is what she is going to get. Along with the husband, she is also going to go back. And the demigods are actually seeing them going back to Godhead. Though they are in the heavenly planets and they are in the earthly planets, they're seeing that, Queen Archie is following her husband in the different planes they're going. So this act of her giving up her body along with her husband is not an ordinary act and has been glorified by all the demigods. Now, this is called the Sati Pratha, which was actually prevalent in the early 1820s, 30s. And where in this age of Kali Yuga also, the women used to give up their body along with their husband in the funeral pyre. But what happened is that, this pratha got degraded. In Kali Yuga, we know that is everything degrades over here. So the same thing happened with the Sati Pratha also. When the husbands were dying, so unwillingly, the women were being pushed into the funeral pyre to finish themselves. It was like forcefully pushing them for death, which was not coming from their heart. That Sati Pratha was then abolished by the great revolutionist called Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who came and who actually abolished this Sati Pratha. So, so we see that, how Queen Archie was doing all the service, whatever the husband was doing, she was serving her husband very, very well in every aspect of his life in the forest. And at last, she gives up her life as well. So this has been glorified. And we can also see one more pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam in Canto 3, the pastime about Devahuti and Kardama Muni. Now, Devahuti was a daughter of Swambhu Manu and Sutapa. And we all know that Devahuti was very, very beautiful. She was renowned for her beauty. She was so beautiful that, once what happened, a Gandharva who was traveling across her palace, Devahuti was actually playing in the terrace with a ball. And that Gandharva, he actually had a glimpse of her. And by looking at her in that aeroplane, he actually fell off. So that was her beauty. Now, the point I'm coming to is that, she is such a beautiful princess. So she deserves a very handsome prince, a very wealthy prince, isn't it? But whom did Devahuti get married to? Devahuti was given her hands to Kardama Muni, who was a sage living in a hermitage in the forest. He was not rich, he was very poor, he did not have anything. So why did Devahuti got married to Kardama Muni? So it is said in the purport 3.22.6, in that purport, Prabhupada writes that, he mentions that if one takes shelter of the lotus feet of a great soul, there is every possibility of one's also becoming a great soul. I repeat it again. If one takes shelter of the lotus feet of a great soul, there is every possibility of one's also becoming a great soul. So because of this reason, Devahuti got married to Swambhu Manu. And she had also heard about his glorious act from Narad Muni. And then she got married. And after marriage, what did Devahuti do? Devahuti started serving her husband with her heart and soul, with her mind, body, and words. She continuously served her husband with whatever her husband used to do in all his worship, in preparing the paraphernalia, and every aspect of life. And she served her so much so that she forgot about her own body. She became weak, she became frail, she became emaciated, she lost her beauty while doing this service. And what happened one day was Kardama Muni happened to see her, and he looked at her and he actually could not recognize her at all. Who is this? Is it the same Devahuti whom I got married to, who was so beautiful? What has happened to her? She has lost all her bodily beauty. She has lost all her luster. But he was very pleased at her service. And being pleased, what did Kardama Muni do? He built a very big, huge mansion in the air. It is like a huge city in an aeroplane where there were lots of apartments, lots of rooms, lots of bedrooms, all types of comforts. She had lots of maidservants. All the Gandharva maidservants were at her disposal. And it is also said, if you read in Canto 3, how the whole palace was decorated. It was decorated, bedecked with the sapphires, the diamonds, the gold, name it, anything. All these jewelries and everything was there. And it is said that Kardama Muni and Devahuti, they spent 100 autumns together enjoying in that palatial airplane. And with the yogic power, Kardama Muni also got back the beauty of Devahuti. She took a bath in the Mansarovar river, and when she came out, she got back her beauty, and she was very beautiful now. So the point over here is, again, like Devahuti is serving her husband so nicely that this is what she gets in return. And what are we learning from here is that no matter who you are in the material world, you may be a CEO, you may be a great entrepreneur, you may be a doctor, an engineer, and you might have lots of other designations in the material world. But when it comes to service, you just have to do your duty. Do your duty as a service. So Devahuti didn't say that, I'm a princess. Why should I do this service? I had a very good life. My parents were also in a very good position. So why should I do all this service? But what are we learning from Devahuti's incident? That service is very important, and we just do the service as a duty. So when service comes to us, sometimes we think it is a burden on our shoulders. And sometimes it is like, we pass it on to other people. This is not meant for me, please. I'm finding it hard, or, this service is not according to my liking. I don't want to do it. Or if there is a little bit of friction among the devotees, then the first thing the devotee will think that, I don't want to do this service with so-and-so devotee. Let me change and do it with somebody else. So this type of attitude, Swam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj says, it's an attitude of a neophyte devotee. So we should be very aware that, what service we are doing and how we are doing. And any type of service which comes to us, we must take it up, even if it is difficult. Because service doesn't come up wrapped in a gift paper with ribbons in front of us as, yes, this is your service. It might come from anywhere. And that is what we are chanting every day. We are chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So what are we praying for to the Lord? We are praying to the Lord every day. every single day by this prayer that, oh Lord, please engage me in your loving devotional service. Are we not praying for that? Then why are we not able to take up the service which comes to us? And even if it is difficult, and if we take that service, Krishna makes sure that we are given enough support and enough help, and the help comes. Sometimes the service might be very difficult. Yes, I'm not able to do. How do I do it? We just pray to the Lord, and somehow or the other, we will see that the Lord arranges. And that service, after doing that service, when you go back home and when you recollect, oh my God, how did I do that? I didn't even think I would be able to do it, but somehow or the other, the Lord empowers. And as and when you take up any type of service, maybe we haven't done that any time. Maybe it is the first time we are doing it, and we told that devotee, yes, we have taken up that service, but Prabhu, I'm not able, Mataji, I'm not able to do this because I've not done. And what happens? And then that Vaishnava will encourage you. So doesn't matter, Mataji, doesn't matter, Prabhuji, just do it. You will be able to do it. And with that encouragement, with that mercy of the Vaishnavas, we just do it. And actually, to tell you that we don't have any ability to do anything. Even right now that I'm taking this class, I had never imagined that I would be talking like this. I have no ability, frankly speaking. I used to be a very introvert person, and I have no ability to do anything. But as it is said that the blind can see and the lame can walk, that is what happens in devotional service. You don't know how Krishna works through you. You don't know how your Guru is empowering you, and you're able to do that service. So that mercy of Guru and Krishna flows, and that is the only way we are able to do that service. That is what it is mentioned in chapter 10 also, right? That the ability of man also comes from Krishna. So whatever we are doing, it is coming for Krishna. And so therefore we should think ourselves as beggars. Beggars have no choice. Do beggars have choice? Whatever is given to the beggar, they have to accept that in their arms. In both open arms, they have to accept it. So that's why we have no choice. And we have to follow that in true mood. And we should think that, yes, we are beggars. We won't choose anything. It comes to us, and it comes as a gift. Actually, the service, to get the service is also very rare. Everybody cannot get the service also. There can be many people who would like to do some service, but because of various reasons, because of health condition, because of circumstances, because of the situation at home, they're not able to do the service. So then we have to also think that we are fortunate that we have been selected for that. And especially when we get inspired when we see others, they are doing so much of service. And especially in today's age, this verse is talking specifically the service which husband does to the wife. Actually, the wife is serving the husband. So the emphasis on the wife doing service to the husband. Now, I've seen in my olden days, my grandmother, she used to eat only after her husband has eaten. And while her husband is eating, she used to fan him. In India, you have those wooden fan, with the hand you have to fan. So she used to fan my grandfather, and then when he used to eat the whole thing, then she will take the plate away, she will wash, and that is the time when she will sit and have her food. So this is something which is inconceivable in today's age, isn't it? So this type of service which a wife is rendering to her husband. Why it is inconceivable? Because the fact that today the society has degraded so much that the wife thinks that I am doing the same thing as my husband is doing. He is going out and earning, so am I. Why I should serve my husband? That is a question. Because both are equal. So both are competing with each other. So there's no need to serve him. So whatever household chores I'm doing, my husband should also do. So this is a mentality which is going on. And what is happening because of that? Because both the husband and wife, they're going and they're earning because they want more sense gratification. They want to enjoy their life. Then when they're coming home, they're tired. Then with little bit of friction or there's quarrel going on in the family among the husband and the wife. And what is the children learning from that? That my parents are always fighting. Then they are actually growing up in that environment where they're seeing that the mother and the father is always fighting. They are quarreling with petty issues. It's not even big issue. So that's why, like, in Bhagavatam 1.1.10, it is, I'll just read this one, this shloka. Prayenalpasayu sabhya kalavasmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upadruta. O learned one, in this iron age of Kali, men almost always have but short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. So it is mentioned they'll be quarrelsome and they'll always be disturbed. So with petty things, people are fighting. If the husband is doing a business, and if the business is doing a loss, then the wife sees that, oh, I'll not get enough money from him, so I better divorce him and I get somebody else. Also, I've also heard that, with petty things like, the husband is having a bad odor, I want to divorce him. Just this petty thing. The husband is snoring, I'm not going to stay with him. So why is this happening is because today there is no education. Now, when I'm talking about education, that education is not that, when we are sending our children to school and colleges to learn academics. Learning academics is only to go out and to work and to earn money. It is not giving us a real education to live a quality life, to live a sane life. The sane life is almost totally vanished in today's age. No, everybody is insane because they don't know how to live a sane life. Everybody is fighting, quarreling with small things, husband, wife. They're not getting satisfaction at home. They're going out and making friend circle over there. The wife is also doing similar thing. They're coming back home, nothing to look forward to. Just a machine life. It's a mechanical life. Going out, coming back, just eat, sleep. That's it. But what is going on? So why we are coming to the pages of Bhagavatam and why we are listening to Devahuti's story, why we are listening to Queen Archie's story? Because of the service which they are rendering to the husband, and service only comes with the element of surrender. There has to be little bit of surrender, then only we can serve. And that service attitude means that there has to be no expectation. I'm serving the husband without any expectation. Whenever there is expectation, then there is no, that doesn't remain as a service. I'm serving the Lord without any expectation. I'm serving the Vaishnavas without any expectation. But as soon as I think that, I'm serving this and I have to get something in return, that becomes a business transaction among the Lord also. The Lord, I'm serving so much because I want this. So where is ahetuki and apratihata then? Where is it uninterrupted and unmotivated? It gets interrupted if something doesn't happen, then I will not do the service. Like if it is a rainy season, if it is summer season, if something is happening, if some guest is coming, I'm not doing the service because, I have my agendas over here. Interruption. Motivation, I'll do certain service because I want to be glorified. I want to be in the limelight. I'm in that designation. I'm in that position. So if we think that, certain service I do and then I'm coming in front of the people and the public are seeing me on a daily basis, so I want that name and fame. So as soon as that name and fame comes, it is like the motivation is there. So this is what is happening. So similarly, like, we have, when we see from the pages of Bhagavatam, what Queen Archie is doing, when she is in the jungle, no one would have even have heard about, Archie doing this unless and until it came forward, and Sukadev Goswami is relating these incidents to us. Then we know, oh, Queen Archie. So when somebody is doing such activities for the Lord, and when somebody is doing this devotional service, then they are automatically glorified. Now, Queen Archie didn't do this activity that she will be glorified. She just did it. It came from her heart. She just did it as a duty. So the real education, what is real education then? The real education is the education of wisdom, the education of the values and the cultures which is being passed on by the parents to the children. The real education is the experience which the children is getting in that environment. That's how we can pass it on to the children. Now the society has degraded so much that even when we tell children that, we have to go to the temple, we have to tell them, please dress up properly. Please wear a devotional dress. Otherwise, they will simply wear pant and shirt, or, now those fata hua jeans, torn jeans also they will wear and come to the temple. And that's how we are very lucky that we are in this temple found by, and we are under Prabhupada's umbrella, that we at least have the sense of dressing up at least. Otherwise, we go to other temples and we see people are just coming like this in shorts, and now summer is coming, they will come in shorts and those attire. Why? Because that culture, they have lost the culture. If the parents are not doing it, we cannot even think how will the children do it. So it is very important that we become role models and we do set an example so that the children will follow it. Now, to tell you the truth, the children learn most of the things by observing. Not by what we talk, but by our action. So our action should be such that the children will automatically imbibe those qualities which they are observing on a daily basis. If they're seeing the parents are not fighting, the parents are having good values, the parents are going to the temple, the parents are into devotional service. So what happens? What will the children learn from the very beginning? The children are learning those values from the very beginning. If the children are saying, yes, my mother is serving my husband, my mother is serving my father, what is that child going to learn? That, yes, when I get married, I'm going to serve the same way my mother is serving my father. But if this service attitude is not there, then where are they going to learn? Because service starts at home. So that relationship of mother and father is very, very important. But the society has degraded so much that it is very hard to conceive. To even it is said in Bhagavatam, that later part, that a husband and a wife, if they're married and they live together for years together, then what is going to happen is they will be put on the altar and they will be prayed. So just can you imagine how degraded the society will be in Kali Yuga? It is already degrading now. Now there is the concept of live-in relationship has come in so much that people, the children also, they have seen their parents quarreling so much that they don't want to get married. I've heard so many children saying that, we don't want to get married. We want to have a live-in relationship. Why? Because they are not in that bondage of marriage and they just want to go away. Yes, it is very easy to go away, leave and go. When I was doing my training in AUT, I was doing studying over there. And then I was shocked the lecturer, what she said in the class. Now the lecturer, she said, to have a child, you don't have to get married. Now, it came as a very big shock to me. I could not have imagined that, a lecturer from whom I'm taking this education is coming from her. So this is the quality of Kali Yuga characteristics. Then I also came across 3 siblings in the center where I was working. And then I was told that these 3 siblings are from 3 different fathers. Totally shocked, taken aback. This is the first time I was hearing all these things. And then in Bhagavatam also it is mentioned like they will be worshipped later on, the husband and wife. Then I said, oh, okay, yes, it is possible. It will be possible because this is how the society is degrading day by day. So then, also Prabhupada over here, so that's why Prabhupada mentions that there was no concept of divorce at that time. We never heard about divorce. So, but the divorce rates is going so high nowadays. Right, left and center people are there to divorce. Well, just small things. But it was unheard of before. Even when the situations were not that conducive, husband and wife used to still make it because they used to have tolerance level. And because there was, when they are serving, there is no expectation. The wife knew that, my duty is only to serve the husband. And therefore, Prabhupada writes over here that he says that the duty of the wife is to take charge of the household affairs and not to compete with the husband. He mentions in one of the purports, again, I'll repeat, the duty of the wife is to take charge of the household affairs and not to compete with the husband. And also over here, in the translation, Prabhupada has mentioned about how to serve with speech, body, and mind. Now, Archie was serving like this with a speech, mind, and body, and even Devahuti was serving with speech, mind, and body to her husband. But when, just imagine how difficult it is to serve with the body. Now, the body, the whole cosmetic industry is thriving on this cosmetics, how we can promote the cosmetic, and everybody is actually using those cosmetics for what? To beautify themselves, to apply in the body so that the body looks very good. Yeah, I'm not denying the fact that, you have to be disheveled and you should not be presentable. That is different. Yes, of course we have to be presentable, but whatever minimum is required, we do for the body. But the whole industry is only catering to the body and beautifying the body. But what is a body actually meant for? The body is meant to serve the Lord. So this is the purpose of the body, the human body, which we have been given. It is to serve the Lord. So we will see an example from Ramayana about Jatayu. Jatayu was not even a human being. He was a vulture. And he served Lord Ram. How? By giving his body, by protecting his mother Sita. His wings was cut by Ravana, but he served it through his body to Lord Ram. Then his mind, he was always meditating on Lord Ram, like when Lord Ram is going to come. And when Lord Ram came in front of him, he actually told the whereabouts of Sita, Mother Sita, what happened to her, where she was taken. So at the end of his life, also Jatayu was serving Lord Ram with mind, body, and speech. We can take the example of Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj was a great king. He didn't have to go and do the sweeping with his hand. He didn't have to do anything basically, but he did all the menial services. He, with all the senses, Rishikena Rishikesha, Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Rishikena, with all the senses, we serve the master of the senses, who is Rishikesh, the Lord. So he was using all the senses to serve the Lord. So there are these examples to see, how the people, how this great personality are serving the Lord through mind, word, and speech. And similarly over here, in this purport also, Prabhupada writes the example of Rukmini Devi, who was one of the queens of Krishna, and she was at Dwarka and she was continuously serving her husband. She could have said that I've got so many maid servants. She could have easily sent them, okay, you do this for Krishna, you do that for, she could just have given orders. But what is she doing? She's personally serving her husband. Then we can see the example of Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi has been, again in the purport Prabhupada mentions, Lakshmi Devi serving her husband. Lakshmi Devi could have told any of the devotees, and he's surrounded by so many devotees, that, you just do this, do that, and assign, delegate the task. But what is she doing over here? Lakshmi Devi is personally serving Vishnu. So what are we learning from here? That we have to do the service. I mean, we have to serve the husband nicely. Do it as a duty. We don't expect anything. And if we do that, then Prabhupada mentions, there'll be harmony in this, harmony, and there'll be peace. Peace and harmony can be possible within this world. Are we not looking for peace and harmony in this world? We all are looking for that. Nobody wants to be, not have peace. So then in conclusion, I just want to wind up by saying that yes, service attitude is very, very important, and service starts at home. No matter what material designation we have got, but at the end, we should have the beggar's mentality, that we are beggars and we have to beg to the Lord for service. And when service is starting at home, we need to serve the husband nicely. And that way the children will also learn, and we are serving the children, and the children are learning how the mother is serving my father. This is being inculcated, this is being passed on. And just imagine, what type of life we would like to have. Would we like to, at least I'm not saying that, we will be at the level of Archie, but at least we can reverse this degradation which has come to the society. It is, we are coming to the pages of Bhagavatam to learn these good values so that we can imbibe little bit from there and make our life successful. So that service attitude is very important. Service to the Vaishnavas are very important. And ultimately, how do we know that Krishna is happy? How do we know that this service is making Krishna happy? We can only know if we have satisfied that Vaishnava. After doing that service, if there is a big smile in the face of Vaishnava, then that Krishna is definitely happy. We can also see how Srila Prabhupada has served the whole nation through mind, body, and words. Similarly, we have to serve our spiritual master with our mind, body, and words. So when we say Om Ajnana Timirandhasya, means I was born in this darkest region, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. So that's why, because we are into this path and we have taken shelter of a spiritual master, and he is our captain, he's going to take us back to Godhead. So that service is very, very important. So please, it is mentioned over here, service as of the wife's duty is to serve her husband. So yes, we must take it upon us that yes, we should do that. So thank you very much, all of you. And I would open this forum for any comments. And if I've missed anything, please add.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Such a wonderful class, such a good teaching through this text 23 to 25. How Archie was honored by the demigod's wife, and they all learned the art of serving the husband as a god, not in an ordinary way, and how you explained so nicely with various examples. This earlier life and this today's life. What is big difference? Big deviation of understanding the service attitude is totally an 180-degree difference. Now the level of 50-50 has come so prominent. We do not understand the importance of service. It is always a rivalry. How much I am doing for you, so I can expect that much from you. So that rivalry has actually abolished the attitude of service towards each other. Because this body is mainly for service, as you mentioned, and the Shastra says, this is not for resting in resting for opportunities, and somebody should serve. But from us, we should serve first. Then we can expect service from others. So it's a coordination between the two. It is not one way. So each serves each other, and the attitude builds up. That's why it is said, charity begins at home. Whatever we do at home, that is all being reciprocated to our children, and in the life that focuses into the society, and society can see that. In the similar way, in our bhakti culture is the same thing. If we don't follow the thing, then things are going to deteriorate. So to hold up that attitude, we need to be very, very careful, study the Bhagavatam regularly, understand the lecture and the deep point from it, how important is the service attitude. And if we follow with mind, speech and body, it will definitely act on. And that's why Srila Prabhupada said, the peace is nothing, is a coordination of service by mind, speech and body from one to another. That's how the society is built up. And we used to follow this in the ancient time, but nowadays, unfortunately, we are losing it. And that is a warning for all of us to take utmost care to save this and carry on. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Very inspiration class about the service attitude. Very nicely you described about that present day and the previous day. We should actually, we should follow that your class, what you have given for that, what should be at home. How should be our service attitude to our husband, towards Vaishnava, and towards Guru, and towards Lord Krishna. Thank you very much. Very nice class.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Beta. To
Hare
do
Krishna, Mataji.
all this, we have to have a very humble attitude. That's all. If we are humble, everything will just follow in line.
Definitely, Mataji, this is a very, very good point, to have humility. Because I was listening to one of the lectures of Amrinder Prabhu, and Amrinder Prabhu was actually giving that lecture on humility. And he said that, if we don't develop this quality of humility, we will not be going back to Godhead. Whatever, we might be chanting 64 rounds, we might be going to Mangalarti every day, we might be doing lots of services. But what happens is slowly we develop that ego, and we develop very pride in ourselves. The 6 enemies which are there with us, lust, anger, pride, greed, envy. So these 6 enemies are always sitting in the heart, and it can come up anytime. So if we don't have that humility, and the humility will only crush these 5 enemies which are there in us. So if we are not humble, we just cannot go to Godhead, back to Godhead. It is impossible. Our doors will be closed. So we have to have humility. Humility can bina nahi ja sakte. Thank you for bringing that point, Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, beta.
Yes. So shall we end over here? Anybody else? Okay.
Krishna Mataji, just
Hare
one
Krishna.
last point.
Prabhuji, yes.
Yeah, very inspiring class, Mataji. One thing about service, sometimes you mentioned it's very difficult to carry it out. We just do it in spite of a lack of endeavors. But Guru Maharaj used to say, with every order to do service, the Guru actually empowers the disciple to carry it out. So sometimes the service is impossible, but then with the right attitude, humility, one carries it out and it becomes successful. Just like Srila Prabhupada, he thought preaching the West is quite difficult, reading all the books, but he had so much faith in the order of his Guru Maharaj that he became very successful. So with every order to carry out a service, there is empowerment by the Guru. So it's an important Thank you, Mataji.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji, this service is actually coming from the Guru and he is empowering us to do the service. Otherwise, if you see, we don't have any ability. That's why in the chapter 10, no, that the ability in the person is actually coming from Krishna, means like, Krishna, when he is empowering, and that empowerment again, it is coming from the Guru. So when the Guru is empowering, then only that service is happening. Otherwise, we are not capable to do any service. So therefore, even in the altar, when we are doing the arti also, it is being done because the Guru has empowered. So we should never think that, oh, I'm doing the arti, or I'm doing this service, a certain service. And if suppose like, I'm getting that glorification of that service, so we must not take that glorification on us. Rather, we have to pass that glorification to our Guru Maharaj. So if anybody is appreciating, means at that moment itself, we mentally we have to pass it on to Guru Maharaj, that, thank you, Maharaj, for you, I am able to do this. So thank you so much. And this glorification goes to you. So that way we are not accumulating any of these good things also, because we are not supposed to. So we just give it back to our Guru. Very nice point, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Mataji, one more point on that, if we are doing any service, it's not that we are doing it. It's always that the Guru is doing it. Because I remember one time somebody asked in Australia that people are offering things from outside. So our Guru just, he just said directly that if you are offering like bread from outside or other things, then you are offering it through me. And it is me that's doing the offering. You are just an instrument there. So that means I am taking the karma. So he just directly said that if you are doing that, just change your Guru.
Yes. So nothing we are doing, Mataji, no? That is the point. The point which Nandresh Prabhu also just mentioned, that the Guru is empowering, and because of Guru, we are doing everything. So we are just the instrument, but everything is being passed by Guru only. So whatever worship we are doing, whatever we are doing, how is Krishna accepting that? Krishna is accepting because the Guru is there in between us and him, and the Guru is passing on. That's why when we do the Bhoga offering, can we offer the Bhoga without our Guru? So we have to always offer it on, and we have to take his name, and then the Guru is giving that, offering that to Krishna. So no, we cannot do directly. So that's why it is Dasa Anudas. Why is it Dasa Anudas? Because we have to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord, because Krishna does not accept any direct service. So why we have to please the Vaishnavas? Why it is made stressed so much that, please the Vaishnavas, do some service for the Vaishnavas. Why? Because when we make the Vaishnavas happy, then we know ultimately Krishna is being happy. When we make a spiritual master happy, whatever the spiritual master. Now, just imagine if there is a quarrel and if we are not talking to each other, we are not seeing face, will that make a spiritual master happy? No, cannot. Will that, then if the spiritual master is not happy, is Krishna being happy? No, cannot. That's why, even if it in adverse situation, we have to come together and work together cooperatively. And if we do that, then the spiritual master is happy. And when the spiritual master is happy, Krishna will be happy. So cooperation, Prabhupada always used to mention that, please cooperate with each other. Because we are a family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Meda.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much for the very nice class, and particularly bringing out the importance of pleasing the spiritual master and the Vaishnavas, because only by satisfying them only we can please Krishna. So that is a very nice lesson. And also you have very nicely explained our responsibility in the present day. That is always to remember that we are serving the Lord, and this body is for serving the Lord. So whenever we get an opportunity, we should consider it is a great opportunity and not looking for the material side of the things, what we can do and what we cannot do, what is easy for us, what is difficult for us. When we get an opportunity, we should make all endeavor from as a body, mind, and body, mind, and heart to ensure that we can do it properly. And when we come with that mentality, we get the blessings of the Vaishnavas and our spiritual master. And in this way, we can make the Lord happy. And this is the goal of human life. You have nicely explained through these verses. Once again, thank you for that.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, I mean, the service sometimes could be very impossible task for us. And we might also, if it is, it seems that service we are not able to do, but we can always discuss with that Vaishnava that, we have got this service, Prabhuji. I don't know how I will be able to do it. And by discussing, there are many solutions which comes out. So we must not think that, oh, I'm left alone with this service. And we should not also think that, yes, in a humble state of mind, I'm taking this service. And then I think that, oh my goodness, how am I going to do? Or it is an impossible task. So in that case, discussion is always allowed. We discuss with other Vaishnavas and they're always there to help. They will not say that, oh, we will not help. So by discussion, what I'm meaning to say is that, by discussion, many things become simple. We just have to communicate properly. We can just say nicely that, see, this is what the problem I'm having. And then you will see how Krishna is going to help. So just take it up and then, just leave it to Krishna and then discuss it out. Talk it out. Thank you. So I think we will end over here.
Yeah.
It's okay. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha
Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Har Grace Vishnupadi ki jai.
Holiness
Gaur
Mahaprabhu
Premanande Hari Hari
Hari
Ki.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila
All glories to
Prabhupada.
assembled devotees. Hari Krishna.
Jai.